Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Fandom Empire Live, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Just, you know what? I keep saying it. We're not just outside of Toronto anymore. Joining me tonight as we talk about four different horror movies tonight. It's Mr. Matt Whitfield, who, let's just get this out of the way now. I'm deeply sorry for the loss of Aaron Rodgers last night, man. That and I do mean that legitimately. Like, it gets a little funny in the moment. Like, if you don't like the sports team, that something like that happens to, and then you remember, right? People look forward to this stuff. It might be their big thing. It might be their only thing they got going for them, and then to have something as catastrophic as that happen, it's definitely a deflating feeling, no doubt. Mr. Whitfield, what's going on?
No, it's definitely a deflating feeling. Now you're thinking, is this over? Is it at the end of his career, or is he going to come back? My opinion, if he can come back, he will come back. Aaron's not going to let that be the end of his story.
So, like, and, I don't want to spend too much time on football. People aren't here to talk football, but does that mean they have all that cap room now for the rest of the year?
No, he redid his contract. He did like what Brady used to do, take less so they could go get more players, and that's what he did for this season. Next season,
no, but
I don't know.
Now for the year. So if they brought someone in on a 1-year deal, they could spend that money again, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they could spend Carson. They could bring in another quarterback, a Carson Wentz, a Kaepernick, a Nick Foles, or something like that. They got money this year. But next year's work is interesting because he's owed $104 million.
I know that a lot of people jump to the Tom Brady thing. Could it be Brady? I would never say 0% chance, but you got to remember, there's so much that goes into football. It's not like, as much as I love hockey, you can acquire a star forward or a star defenseman or even a star goalie,
right?
Insert them into the lineup a week later. And are they going to be normal? No, but they won't look out of place. And I'm sure Tom Brady would do well enough, but like, you got to learn an entire offense. I have no doubt the guy's still probably in shape, but I see them going that route. And now, frankly, like, what's the need for Brady to go that route? Are the Jets supposed to contend this year? I have no idea.
They were a legitimate Super Bowl contender with Rodgers. They've got a legitimate defense. They've got a legitimate running game. The only thing that was the question mark was the offensive line. And, I'm from Richmond, Virginia. We're not a big football town, but the guy, left tackle, Dwayne Brown, was the reason why he got injured, because he didn't block as well as he could have. And the guy got by him and kind of turned Aaron around. And when you see him going down, you can see if you look good enough, you can see the pop in his left leg where the Achilles tore.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Innocent enough looking play too. Anyways, we're here tonight talking, you bet, you guessed it,
your favorite trilogy,
Halloween. My favorite trilogy is a trilogy that technically doesn't exist when it comes to Halloween.
Oh, I know.
Headcanon trilogy. But look, I wanted to take some time tonight with the making of Halloween book coming out soon. If it doesn't get delayed. Of David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy. And I just want to talk about the pros and cons, not necessarily against each other, but rather, what did they do good with this movie and what just didn't hit. And I just want to start off, dude, with what you think each, maybe there's not one for a certain movie, but I guess my question would be, and to the audience as well, what element do you think is the best in Halloween 2018, in Halloween Kills, and in Halloween Ends? So, one for each, that is better than the other two movies. So if you were to say action, what one is the best action of story, what one's the best story, So I'll start. Give you some time to think about it. For me, when I look at that trilogy, I sit here and I go, okay, so the reason I like Halloween 2018 the best in that trilogy is because the story works for me. When I seen it opening night at TIFF, the story worked for me. I was compelled, Don't get me wrong, watching Michael do his thing and kills and, kill endless amounts of people is, really cool on screen and fun to watch and dissect. But the story for Halloween 2018 captivated me. It wasn't just a Laurie story. I was very interested in the Allison side of things and what the dynamic was between Laurie and Karen and where Michael is and how he's going to respond to putting the mask back on for the first time. So when it comes to 2018, I personally think the best quality part of that movie, that best asset that movie has, is storytelling. What about you, Matt? I don't know if you agree. Maybe you have a slightly different take.
I wish I could disagree with you, but I'm dead on with you. It was the story. It was Michael back in his element, not with like the end of because the last thing we saw was Rob Zombie 2, and I guess that let a bad taste in our mouths. But to see Halloween 2018 and just see a great story, you wondered what her character was going, the relationship between Karen and her mom, Michael, finally free after 40 years. The story just worked, and the mask was on point. Christopher Nelson nailed the mask, and it was actually scary for the first time in years, and that was what made it work.
So, for me, story is the most important thing when it comes to that movie. Certain shot selections are important too. I was invested in Hawkins, even though I liked the way his character came off in that movie. The sound, the soundtrack's just not the soundtrack, pardon me. The score is incredible. But Michael is just, I'm not saying it felt exactly like Michael from 2018 because I don't think that's accurate. But I thought that you could believe that was once Michael in sorry, not 2018, the original. I thought you could believe that Michael Myers and James Jude Courtney as Michael in 2018 was once Nick Castle's Michael from 1978, which I think is so important because if it doesn't feel like that character, it doesn't have to be the exact same. 40 years had passed. But there should be some, gravitating force that lets you know that, hey, that's still Michael. Mm-hmm. I would argue when we get to Halloween Kills, as much as I appreciate the action-packed event that is Halloween Kills, I think that one's a little harder to believe that was Nick Castle's Michael in John Carpenter's classic from 78. Maybe you disagree, but that's the gist that I get from it. I have a hard time taking Michael and what he does in Kills and going, yeah, that's the guy Loomis shot 6 times.
See, for me, all the way up till he they all try to beat him down and then he takes them all out, I could buy it. I could buy him being so pissed off. They try to kill him. He gets out. He comes out to the house. He starts killing everything in sight. I can believe that. I'm surprised you didn't say anything, but the flashback, that's what we love about the most about Kills. I mean, just
it's my favorite part of Kills, but
right.
That for me is a little too specific. Like, I could pick out a scene in 2018 and go, oh my God, this is amazing. Like when Allison finds
Right.
Oscar and, you know, Allison finds Oscar. Like, tell me, if you're a Halloween fan, think about this for a second. I want you to close your eyes and come
I'll fall
on
asleep.
this virtual experience with me. You are in the movie theater for the first time. I was right downtown Toronto, Ontario, at Toronto, Ontario, Canada, September 2018. TIFF was showing it in 2 theaters. I know Dave McRae and Bruce were in the opposite theater as me. Obviously, you guys can't see that, but can you remember how you felt the first time? Like, I think that's so important. The first feeling you have about something that you experience in a movie or on TV. That first, like, did it make your hair stand, or was it just, oh, that's cool? I think understanding your emotional attachment to something is important. I got to tell you, take every frame of that trilogy that we got, and no moment for me was more okay. I'm digging this than this moment right here. Halloween is known for its iconic theme. It really does. Like it hits in a way. I'm not saying there's not themes that are notable for Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Halloween hits a little bit differently. And when John Carpenter released this piece, obviously with his son and Davies there, to me it was just incredible. We get hints of this tune in both other movies, but I thought they could have gone back to this again. Like, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Before we move on to like what is our actual favorite just aspect of kills that you think is better than what's in the other 2 movies, I did want to give some love to that moment where we see the girls trap Michael in the basement and the flames are spreading around him. And there's just something so badass about him looking up at them while everything is on fire around him.
It's almost like he's giving the look, you bitch.
Yeah, almost like, you know, this isn't over yet. I hope you know
Yeah.
that. It's just surreal. And then, like, I remember fist pumping when they cut back to that a few frames before the end, and you don't see him standing there. And I was like, yes. And then the credits played, and then we hear the breathing at the end of the credits, if you stuck around long enough for that. So that was probably my favorite, just one moment in 2018. But the thing 2018 does the best, in my opinion, compared to the other 2 movies, is simply storytelling. And Matt and I were on the same page for that one. Kills, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's the kills, it's the action, it's the, you know, a little bit of the gore we get in it. It's Michael on steroids. It's probably the closest thing I've seen to Michael since Halloween 4, being like that Terminator Michael, although obviously James Jude Courtney moves a lot different than George Wilbur. There's more aggression in what Courtney does. But I really, really enjoyed it. Heath said, I understand people are split on this, but I would have rather they left Michael and Laurie as siblings in 2018. 2018 was a good standalone movie. When you do look back at it, I do think you got to go, is this story more impactful if they were siblings? And I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to agree with Keith's statement there. Greg says, I truly believe that there's a great Halloween movie to be made by editing all 3 of these movies into one great movie. Well, that would have been the nice thing if ends would have stayed on the same night. Like, I know you would have been, the whole movie would have been in the wee hours of the morning, but they ended up, opting not to go with that, despite it being their original plan. But yeah, for me, Matt, Halloween Kills, the thing it does better than the other two movies is absolutely the kills and the action. You were right about the favorite moment. Like, we'll probably do a stream, or not a stream, but a video over on the other channel, just dissecting the flashback at some point and going over everything that they have going on over there. By the way, if you don't know about it yet, the Legacy of Halloween is coming. A standalone YouTube channel with only Halloween content. Most of it will be short form videos. It launches this month, so be on the lookout for our inception of Halloween 4 video. And if you haven't yet, take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, and slash that notification bell. Yeah, it's the action for me, man. What about you?
I think a little bit was the action. A little bit was the bringing back the characters from the original, the Marions, the Tommies, the Lindsays. Nostalgia of, and bringing back, what's his name? The cop, the dad. Oh God, I bring part. Who's the sheriff?
Hawkins?
No.
Oh, Brackett.
Yeah, bring it back.
The sheriff. Wow, did you get hit in the head tonight? Wow. I didn't. I'm pro Meeker. I'm pretty sure you're pro Brackett. You know?
No, I'm pro Meeker. I just couldn't think of Brackett's name. It was just, I was looking at the scene, and I was trying to look at his shirt and everything, and I was like, what the hell is on his shirt? What's the name? But yeah, the nostalgia, I think for me was the best part of it. And then the action, like you said, I mean, Michael on steroids, Michael going out killing everything in sight once he puts his mask back on and doesn't kill Karen. But that's gonna be the first TV episode. Karen lives when they go to that.
You just can't let Karen go, can you?
No,
you can't let her go.
No,
Judy Greer is a just incredible talent, obviously, but
that's my woman.
You wish. What do we got here? John, what's going on, John? All her trauma and paranoia would have made more sense if H2 had existed. I also agree. I think I might be echoing on your end, Matt. Testing. Yeah, I was echoing on your end. You got to keep yourself muted when not talking. But yeah, I mean, I would have loved it. I think they didn't want to have to explain. I don't think they wanted to have to explain how this dude, who in their trilogy ends up just in fact being a dude who can just go. How did he survive Halloween 2? It's a big ask, right? It's a big suspend of belief if you've never seen the movie. Greg says Legacy is going to be great. Yeah, we're one of the things at least I've been doing is sitting down and like trying to figure out what content is good for it and what content isn't. We also want it to be interactive, engaging content that other people can participate in the chat and get your thoughts on things. But my guess is we'll have a video up on that channel every week in the beginning, maybe even a little more than that. Some of them might be on the really, really shorter side of 4 or 5 minutes, but most of them will be somewhere between that 10 and 20 minute mark, depending on what it is. So definitely looking forward to that. But all of our live streams will still stick on Fandom Empire. So, and speaking of which, we have a live stream at 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight. That's right. Star Wars Ahsoka Episode 5 that is so special and unique that they've put in movie theaters tonight. So
that's just crazy.
Select movie theaters. And I'm going to put the thumbnail up for our show tonight. If you haven't seen any of the series, it might be a spoiler. But it's not a spoiler pertaining to the episode that's about to come out in 30 minutes. But yes, Star Wars Ahsoka, episode 5. And yes, that is Anakin Skywalker.
Man, I didn't know he was going to be in it. Why did you jinx it for me, man?
We actually have a video coming out too. It was going to go on our Legacy of Star Wars channel, but I think I'm going to put it on this channel. That's going to explain certain events, and you'll be able to check this video out sometime after the episode ends. So be on the lookout for that. Anyways, yeah, man, the action for me is where it was. So when it comes down to it, what was the best part of Halloween Kills for you? You're saying the nostalgia, which I think that's what you said anyways, nostalgia, which it's hard to argue. Like, you look at all three films and you ask which one has the most nostalgia, there's no doubt that it's Halloween Kills.
Oh, of course.
You know, Halloween Kills, one of the first videos we ever did on this channel, when there was next to no information about Halloween Kills, by the way, on the internet. We were one of the first channels reporting on it. And we had said that, hey, just so you know, Halloween Kills is not a Jamie Lee Curtis / Laurie Strode movie. It doesn't matter what the marketing is going to tell you, which the marketing did try to tell you is definitely her movie, and it was not, but rather an ensemble where various cast members drive the story and the narrative forward.
Evil dies tonight.
Weird noises. But yeah, so I think it's fair to say nostalgia. And I mean, take the cast away, you still have the flashback. You've had people wanting to go back to that era since 1978. So yeah.
You think it's bad that we want to go back to 1978? Shit, we want to go back to 63.
Yeah,
or 64. Give me something along those lines.
Dun, dun, dun. I had to mute Matt before he got us copyrighted. I don't know why they've been copywriting the Halloween stuff lately, but so we've been taking advantage of that. Triple Glax says, I think Halloween 2018 was the best one. I agree with you, sir. Dean Renner, my trilogy ranking is 78, 2018, and kills. Ends gets left in the dark. No room for that. Mr. Hayes says 2018 kills and ends. Oh, we're in the same boat there, man. Eye of the Tiger, yeah, that was an unexpected cameo. But yeah, I don't disagree with the nostalgia. Honestly, Matt, I'm a little upset that I didn't pick nostalgia now, because I think it's a more creative answer than the action and the kills of Halloween Kills. Although I think both are warranted. When we go to Halloween Ends, I know Dean doesn't probably want to hear this, but Halloween Ends does certain things better than the other two movies. And it's frustrating because I really don't like the movie, if I'm being honest. I sit here and go, man, why couldn't we have gotten that with Kills? So, for example, Halloween Kills, you just sort of get right into it. Like, you open up and it's basically mayhem. You get the flashback and the mayhem, essentially. Halloween Ends, whether you like the story or not, is given time to breathe and marinate. And honestly, I think if you could go back and redo Halloween Kills, I wonder if they make the movie 10 or 15 minutes longer and allow the first half an hour to breathe a bit. The first 30, 40 minutes to breathe a bit, and then let shit hit the wall from in the second and third acts. You don't have to slow it back down. But I can't help but wonder if the setup would have been a little bit better if people would have responded, like the normies would have responded better to the movie. you got to remember, people had to wait 3 years for this movie. That was not the plan. And not everybody that went to see this movie sits down and watches 2018 first. You know, when a movie gets rated on Rotten Tomatoes, if it's part 2 or part 3 or part 4 of whatever, however long of a series, they're not rating it as one chapter in that series. They're rating it as the movie itself. That's it. Its ties and connections don't matter. They do to us, the fans, who are going to obsessively watch all of them. But if you don't watch 2018 before Kills and you just go and watch Kills, that fucking movie's all over the place. I mean, I like it. And I think it's a wonderful follow-up to Halloween 2018.
You're drunk.
I'm drunk? How do you figure?
A good follow-up to Ends? Wait a second. You just said that Ends is a good follow-up to Kills, correct?
No. I'm saying that one of the issues with Halloween Kills is like literally it starts and Cameron's finding Hawkins, and then all of a sudden it's 1978 again, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, Michael is massacring firefighters. You know, I skipped maybe 2 scenes in there, 2 very short scenes.
Yeah, they should have definitely slowed it down
and let it marinate. Halloween Ends, for whatever you want to call it. You like it, you love it, you hate it, you're in the middle about it. Doesn't matter. The movie gets time to marinate. And
yeah, I agree with you on that.
How much better would Kills have been if they just let the beginning of the movie marinate? In my opinion, a ton.
I agree.
Halloween Ends, though, what it does best is I think it does a few things best. One, I think the best acting of the entire trilogy is in this movie. Corey, whether you like him or you don't like him, his performance is just insane. Rohan Campbell killed it.
He carried the movie. Yeah, he carried the movie.
I don't just mean him. Like the performances across the board in this movie are what makes this movie, in my opinion, watchable the most. Its treatment of its star slasher, on the other hand, is not very good. And again, it's subjective. It's just my opinion. They're rather disgraceful to Michael in the movie, which is almost.
Oh God, yes, and that's what is so hard for me to watch. 10 minutes of a Halloween movie, and it's all you get of Michael, and then that's just that resonates so much with me. I think it a lot for me. It overshadows my opinion of that movie and I agree with you that Rohan Campbell knocked it out of the park. He carried that movie. That's about it. Anything else about it, you're not going to get anything positive out of me.
You remember the meme that came out the night the movie was released of Michael and Cameron riding on the bike? Like, is that how it went down? Like, how did it go? Let's be real. Like, did they walk together? I doubt that. Like, you know. Oh man, Dean says, but Michael had less screen time in the original. I don't know what his screen time in the original is, but I imagine it's pretty close to that. To me, it's how you use it. Darth Vader is in Star Wars: A New Hope, the original Star Wars, 1977. 9 minutes. That's it. It's how you use that screen time, and how they used Michael's screen time, in my opinion, is why it's disgraceful. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk. And hey, if someone loves it, that's great. Again, I will stand by it. Dean and I were talking in the chat today about a topic we're about to switch to, about, hey, just because he feels one way or thinks highly of a movie that might be coming out. And I said, well, I've heard it's kind of shit. Doesn't mean Dean shouldn't go see the movie. Dean should absolutely go see the movie and draw his own conclusion. Again, I'm the guy that not only likes Halloween 4 better than the original Halloween, I also think it's better. So that's a very unpopular opinion, but that's fine because it's yours and that's what makes it unique. The production, man, the acting and the production, the sound design in Halloween Ends is phenomenal. When that little fucker at the beginning of the movie hits that floor, holy shit.
Clunk.
Like we seen that in IMAX, and all you heard was just like I'm sure if you went into the sound design, you're hearing like I thought I heard multiple breaks as he hit the floor, and it's so quick. And like, yeah, it's gruesome. That's a kid. That's a kid that just fell. I believe it was 3 stories. Um, and but the sound design all over the movie is phenomenal. The score is phenomenal. Honestly, the cinematography in Ends is better than the other 2 movies. The set pieces in Ends is better than a lot of what we get in the other. I just keep in mind, they filmed Ends in a completely different area.
I know.
Than they filmed 2018 Kills, and that's probably I think the area for me just feels a little more Haddonfield. Now that scene in 2018 where the one are there where we're following Michael, that obviously street feels like Haddonfield, but I would argue a lot of the other places that we see don't necessarily feel like Haddonfield. Haddonfield, pardon me. There's a D in
Yeah.
field.
But they shot the first one in Charleston, I believe. And then they shot the second one in North Carolina. Then they went back, I think, to Georgia or South Carolina for the third one.
I believe it was Georgia. I could be wrong on that. Greg, could you please explain where the rumors of Glass Hill came about and what was supposed to happen leading up to Halloween Ends? Yeah, you know what? I don't know if you're being tongue-in-cheek right now to just, throw that out there that we got that one wrong. At the end of the day, it's not in the movie, so I guess we did get that one wrong. But Glass Hill originally, so if you're watching Halloween Ends, watch the billboards. There's been a girl missing for a year. Glass Hill has to do with Michael killing that girl. We get to see that. We were supposed to spend time in that year. Not a lot. It might have only been the one scene even. I think it might have been 2, but I couldn't sit here and tell you what that was, but at least what we had heard. And there were like, to a point, we seen the Glass Hill logo, right? So like, it's not like it wasn't a thing. It absolutely is a thing. And I do wonder if it'll be in this making of book. But to our knowledge, Michael was supposed to kill the girl that's advertised on the billboard, and that's why she's gone missing. Michael, frankly, what they don't really get in the nitty-gritty to tell you is he's killing people during this time. He's not just hanging out in a fucking sewer twiddling his thumbs the entire time. He's killing people. He's just not able to be the Michael that we know, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense considering how Halloween Kills ended. Still don't know that one and understand how the guy went from killing an entire mob basically and wrecking through them to, oh Matt, bring me my cane. I can't move appropriately. There's a disconnect there. But yeah, acting for me and just the entire production design for the movie was very well. I don't have very many positive things to say about the story, the handling of characters, the handling of even Laurie in this movie, and Michael. I don't like that Hawkins lost a bunch of what he had in the movie either. So yeah, it's hard. I think that's one of the things that you struggle with when you follow a production, or if you're doing the spoiler thing or the scoop thing, which, hey, sometimes you're going to be right and sometimes you're going to be wrong. But you then get attached to something, and when something doesn't happen the way that you've attached yourself to it, it can absolutely ruin your enjoyment of something. I have no doubt the fact that I knew what happened going into Halloween Ends there in several months before, that it definitely tempered my expectations and didn't necessarily allow me to enjoy the movie like I might have if I hadn't. But there is no element of me that ever would have been okay with the handling of Michael Myers in this movie. It just wouldn't have been. Not for me, anyway. Matt, is there anything that Halloween Ends does the best in your eyes?
I mean, I'm with you on Rohan Campbell. I think with what the screenplay was and what he had to do, I think he knocked it out of the park. But everybody else just felt weak to me. I think they missed the mark on Allison after the first one. They kind of they made you think she was going in that direction. The second one, then they made this they did. There was no character. I don't feel there was any character growth by the time the third one hit with her, and that was really disappointing. I think Jamie Lee Curtis's my it's crazy. Probably my favorite scene is the end scene with her and Hawkins after everything's done. That's probably my favorite scene when they're talking about the he drops Firehouse and brings her something. That's probably my favorite scene. Oh, that and the kid getting jumping, going down 3 floors. How ironic! Those one with Spectrum to the other were my 2 favorite scenes in the movie.
John Hayes says Michael hulking up and jizzing his pants in the sewer. Yeah,
so that's how he got it. That's how he got his strength back.
There's nothing I like about that sewer scene at all.
Oh
and
my God.
There's another thing we don't get to see. The bum that we see earlier in the movie gets killed. We didn't get to see it. Michael takes his fucking coat. That's a thing. That's why when the leak of the coat came out and ended up being just someone's fan-made statue or whatever, I was like, no, that lines up. He's supposed to wear a coat. It's not going to look like Rob Zombie's Michael, but he's supposed to wear a coat at some point. It never happened. You can't help but wonder if it helps disguise him too, while walking through. If he did have to walk from the sewer to wherever, Lori and them are living at that time, the coat with the
I would have loved to get my hands on what all the screenplay, because it had to be a screenplay at that point for what was going to be.
Well, the problem is they treated this movie like a fan fiction, dude. They were passing it between 4, technically 5 of them, giving each other alternative paths, and just they handled it, in my opinion, in not a very good way at all. And then you also had Jamie Lee Curtis, who got a hold of the first initial, this is what we're going to do, and changed a bunch of shit. And she has admitted that. At one point, her character was actually going to commit suicide. And then that shifted the focus to Allison. But that obviously, she squashed it for whatever reason. That is at least
perfect
out there.
Because it should be Allison fighting Michael in the third one.
Yeah, it should have been. The torch should have got passed. Instead, it was the fucking Jamie Lee Curtis show again. And, for those that want to see it, good for you. But, you want to know why Scream 6 works for me? It's fucking different. Not the same fucking thing again. I know we're not talking Scream, but yeah. How does Allison go from dating someone her age and kills to dating a cop who looks like he's 50? And what's that all about?
Trauma will do that to you.
Yeah, trauma does lots, and she did lose her dad, and I know that's fucked up, but like,
and her mom.
Your stories.
Allegedly.
Let's switch gears here to a movie that I got to talk to one of the sources that we use at the channel about. He had the chance to see an early cut of it. Frankly, I don't know anything, about this. Wasn't on the radar at all for me. And that is Thanksgiving. If you haven't seen the teaser yet, go check it out. It's about a minute long. The teaser is very good. It feels like a modern day horror, but I liked the twists in a couple of the not necessarily kills in the one case, but like a couple of the scenes that we see in that teaser. I go, oh, okay, well, that's fucked up, and it's done in a creative way. I had this said to me, Matt, today, and we talked about it in our chat. I think you've seen it. Our guy basically said if he had to choose between the new Exorcist movie and Thanksgiving, that it's not close. And he'd choose Thanksgiving 5 times over again.
That does not surprise me.
Well, knowing who it is doesn't surprise me either.
It's Eli Roth, isn't it?
Yes.
He directed it. Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm not saying it's gonna blow the world away. I still haven't had a chance to see the oh my God, help me out here. The movie with Danielle Harris and Robert Englund.
Natty Knox.
Yeah, I haven't seen Natty Knox yet, but I heard that it was decent. I didn't hear it was anything mind blowing, but it was a horror movie. from what I understand, no one's saying this is going to win an Oscar, but that they have something really good here. The studio wasn't even interested in moving this up into Halloween, in and around that time. Look, I know it says Thanksgiving, so people will draw the conclusion, well, of course they would have released it around Thanksgiving. Not so. That's typically not how horror movies are. They will move into the month of October if they're already by there, simply because, it's October. People want to go see something scary.
Horror movies.
And it's close enough to Thanksgiving that, does it really make a deal or a big difference if it's released the week before Halloween and Thanksgiving's 4 weeks later? No, I don't think it does. Apparently, they haven't even had a thought of that. They're keeping it close to Thanksgiving, and they're that confident in the movie. I'm very intrigued. I could end up seeing this thing and fucking hating it. I'm completely open to that idea. But what I've seen, they have the actor from Suits in there who's really funny. Patrick Dempsey movie. Those of you that are Grey's Anatomy fans or Scream 3 fans, but no Patrick Dempsey. It just looks good. I don't know what
it does. And very clean trailer, very distinct trailer. Very good. It was, I can't wait for the full one to come out. Probably about, I'd say, a couple weeks.
Heath, you're giving away secrets. But yeah, sorry. I think, like, take the new Exorcist trailer.
Ugh.
I think you could watch that trailer and totally get the idea. Hey, this looks intriguing, and I'm into it. I haven't seen anything from the trailers that make me go, well, this thing's going to be dog shit. But when you read the test screening reviews and the fact that we know two people who've seen the movie and one of them seen it twice, meaning the most recent cut, and they did not like it, thought it was terrible, thought there was going to be creative choices that are going to be criticized on the level of Halloween Ends. It makes me go, oh, well, that's not good to hear. But in terms of all I've seen through marketing, I haven't witnessed anything from myself that makes me go, this is going to be fucking awful. So I'm going to give it a shot because maybe it is good. But I just know if there's enough people saying that it's really bad, that's probably telling you something.
People you trust.
Yeah. Definitely. I have a feeling they're wasting a lot of the good footage of the Exorcist trailers. Yeah. Halloween. Hello, Universal. This is how we do things. So yeah, I don't know if anybody intends to see Thanksgiving here, but I think it looks spectacular. I totally think people should give it a chance, and I think it is going to be a shit ton of fun. I honestly
I'm not going to see it.
Really creative kills in this movie, and honestly, you could be in worse hands than Eli Roth. You really could. Anyways, if you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe, / that notification bell. If you want to support the channel on another level, you can do so at patreon.com/Fandom Empire. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Big shout out to channel sponsors, Jesse, who you can find his YouTube channel down in the description. Mr. Jason Nike, Backtrack Cinema, check him out. He's got great shit happening all the time over there. Big thanks to him. And just, Jason's I've known Jason for a while now and have worked with him on multiple projects. And he's just awesome at what he does. And there's not enough people to check him out or give him his content enough attention, if I'm being honest. Really good guy. Hard to find those in this space anymore. And then last but not least, Ryan. Without Ryan, this channel's biggest sponsor at the moment, we wouldn't be doing a lot of the content that we are doing, a lot of the content we got coming. You can check out his and my YouTube channel if you're a NASCAR fan, Colleague Nation. We do stuff over there weekly, so check that out. Big thanks to Ryan doing what he does. Don't forget, right after Ahsoka is done airing, in about an hour's time, we have the episode 5 reaction to Star Wars Ahsoka. Join us here. Join in the fun. Probably going to go for a while. We'll see you on the flip side. For Matt and Dean, I'm Sean. Have a great night. don't forget, the boogeyman is coming.